Hey guys, and welcome back to Mortgage Mondays. It's the Ginger Realtor Show. We're with our boy Mike again. Mike, thank you very much for stopping by.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
By now, you should know that Mike is with a mortgage firm and he is awesome. So let's hit the big news that we had over the weekend and the back end of last week, and that's that rates took a huge drop. Take it away.
Yeah, they did. 7 straight weeks of dropping rates, but yesterday was not yesterday, last week, Friday was a big one. It was there's inflation's getting better, so the Fed says they're not going to raise rates, so everybody kind of calms down, and the rates just react in a nice fashion, and we're back in the sixes, which it's funny, right? We were all dreading the sixes, 2 years ago. We were like, oh my God, rates go back to the sixes. Oh, what are we gonna do? Sixes are historically low. So it's a great time to purchase. There's still all the great programs out there. Hometown Heroes is about $8 million left and right around there. Yeah.
You said 80.
Did I say 80? 80?
Yeah,
80.
look, if that's $80 million there, fantastic, guys.
Yeah.
But no, it
Eight,
is just the eight.
$8 million left. And like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, it's not going super fast because of the holidays. The rates were scaring people off a little bit, but I mean, the hometown hero rates have been great. I mean, they've been in the sixes for the last couple of weeks. So I mean, I'm curious to see where they open up today and see if they're mid sixes, which would be fantastic. Mid to low sixes will be great, and it's just a fantastic time right now. I mean, people are taking advantage of rates could stabilize not much lower than this.
So I think this is the issue we have as without wanting to get too deep as a people. Our media is absolutely shit when it comes to reporting things. They have this short term, oh, the viewer doesn't remember anything more than 3 months ago, so let's just talk shit. So when they're talking about rates being historically high and they're hitting the sevens and the eights and they're panicking, you remember like my parents, well, not mine because mine were in the UK and it's a little bit different there, but like when our parents were buying in the 70s and 80s, they were facing rates in the teens.
Yeah, rates hit like 15% in 1983.
So that's more than double what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah,
Okay, prices on the houses were a lot lower, uh, and they
yeah,
were a
but the
lot
income's
lower
a
in
lot higher.
relation to average salary as well.
Yeah, look at the incomes, and I mean, I think the average median income in our area where I live is like $136,000. I mean, it's high. I mean, these are people make a lot of money, but you spend a lot of money on houses. But it's where
Yeah,
you live, it's where you raise your kids, it's where you want to be. So
but I think that we're looking at a trend that's going to continue in the new year. I fully expect next year to be a huge bounce back year for real estate and mortgage. I think once we go, I mean, look, I think I saw 6.6 at one point last week. I don't know where it is right now. And obviously we don't talk about specific rates on this show because we don't want you to see this in 2 weeks and of them more than that rates are now at seven because we can't keep up. I can't do enough on this show to be able to keep up with where the rates are.
yeah,
But I think if we can get to the low sixes, high fives, I think it's going to push a lot of people who are holding off on selling their home to putting on the market and finding their new place. I think it's going to bring first-time home buyers back into it. And if the state continues with its Hometown Heroes program, there's going to be a lot of money floating around for people to put down on deposits.
absolutely, absolutely.
So I really do believe. I think the savvy buyer who's looking to buy in 2024 is looking now. They should have their financing wrapped up and understand who they're going to be with, why they're picking that mortgage rep, because there's a million different mortgage reps out there. I only work with the ones who I feel are the best in the industry. That's why Mike is on my books. Um, and it's understanding that when you find that house, just go for it. Look, rates are going
Right.
to change. You're going to be able to refinance down the line if you need to. At 6.8, you're still doing a lot better than you would have 3 months ago, which when it was 7.8, 7.9. So it's going to be an interesting 2024. I can sense sharks and blood in the water, and I think we're going to get back to a situation where we're getting houses going in bidding wars, appraisals being waived, and appraisal gaps being covered, and inspections being negated. It's going to be I'm
It'll be
thinking
a
that
feeding frenzy. It will be a feeding frenzy.
it's going to be a feeding frenzy.
Yeah. If a five appears in the rates, even like you said, low sixes, it's going to be.
I'm tempted to hook up a set of sirens, kind of like the old air raid shot sirens. The
Yeah.
second that around Riverview, then the second that raid hits five, I'm going to hit the sirens and let my phone ring.
Yeah. In 6 months, people are going to be saying to themselves, home buyers are going to say, well, if we pulled the trigger at 7.5% on a $400,000 house, now that same house is 450 because you're in a bidding war and we're at six. I mean, it's just a matter of, like you said it perfectly a couple minutes ago. If you see the house you like, go for it.
But I mean, that's one of the biggest problems. I've picked up four leads now from an article that appeared in the Tampa ABC News Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
where they were saying that because of inflation and rates and inventory, there'd never been a worse time to find a house. And look, if you've got a shit agent, there's never a good time to buy a house. They even spoke to some guy from EXP who was like, "Yeah, it's a terrible time to buy a house." I think this EXP agent was probably more worried about his downline and bringing agents in than he was about selling. But when you look at things like that you mentioned, the $400,000 house in 3 4 months could be 450 with bidding wars, and you look at the difference in what you're going to pay per month. Now, look, let's be honest. If the house is going over asking, you're not getting concessions on your close on your rate. You're not getting the seller to buy down your rate either. So you got
Yeah,
to
you're not
remember
going to
these
get the
things.
appraisal. So you're going to have appraisal gap money.
So it's the amount of negative information that goes out there, and I don't know whether I've mentioned it before on this version of the Mortgage Mondays or others, but everything you see in the media is based on what the parent company needs to make money wise. The days of our media being honest and open and factual and driven purely by a goal to get the truth is gone.
Oh yeah.
When you're looking at your Fox News, your CNN, your MSNBC, if you're looking at business news, ask yourself, what does the publisher have to gain by writing this story? Because as I look at a lot of the stories in real estate over the last 12 months, a lot of them are based in myth. A lot of them are based with no factual basis other than to shake the market, destabilize the market, and for someone out there to make money.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about the back 12 months. What's been your highlight over the last 12 months?
I mean, until recently, it was a relatively steady year. I made a move this year. Me and my team, we moved over to the mortgage firm from our previous company. So there's a learning curve with new systems and new operations, and so that was a big to get that out of the way. It was a big part for me. It's a great firm that we work for. Their operations they're unbeatable. Their operations they really are. Clear to closes weeks before we close, which is nice. And but I mean, it's been a relatively steady year. I mean, I work with you and a bunch of other realtors, and I've seen the hurdles that they've had to go through, the realtors. So we just kind of work as a team, and just it's been pretty. I mean, it's been relatively steady. I mean, it's slower right now, obviously with the holidays. Everybody's in holiday mode. Everybody's out shopping and doing the stuff, and our weather hasn't been the best here in Florida lately. It's been
Hasn't been the best. It hasn't. I mean, look, with the exception of a couple of windy days last week, I mean, it's consistently being close to 70 and above.
yeah. Some people I walk in the mornings. People have winter coats on.
December. Yeah, so my desk is facing the front of the house, and I have my blinds closed for the most part because there's nothing worse than seeing the back end of somebody's computer monitors. But I have two of my little blinds slit open so I can be that nosy neighbor. And I'm watching people go by in like full on New Jersey winter gear, like hats and Ugg boots and I'm like, it's 55, dude. Like, I'm still in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I used to. It's funny. I'm from up north, all like you, and my wife now. She's been down here for years, but we used to go back and forth when we were dating, and she used to come up to Pennsylvania where I lived, and she would freeze, and I would make fun of her and make fun of her endlessly. And I'd come down here when I and visit, and I'd always wear shorts and t-shirts. In December, January, not anymore. I wear jeans and long sleeve shirt. And
I'll be honest with you, I had jeans on twice this week, but more for appearance than for need. But
yeah,
all right, so what are you looking forward to in 2024? What is the one thing you want to achieve in 2024, and how can I help you do that?
I just want the market to stabilize. I want to. I mean, it's really confidence levels. I want the public's confidence levels to relax a little bit. Everybody's on edge. I mean, obviously, we're going into an election year, so that's gonna kind of help that situation worsen things a little bit. But I just want the market to stabilize. I want to get into a market where we have good, consistent rates, which I think we're there now. I mean, I think rates in the sixes are fantastic. And I want there to be a nice, steady flow of buyers and not a buyer's market, not a seller's market, just a market where you make a good offer, it gets entertained by the seller. You have good agents on both sides. I mean, you're a fantastic agent to work with. So just really stability is really like 2024. I think is going to be all about stability. I think it's going to be a good bounce back year. I don't think it's going to be the best year ever because it's going to be pretty hard to beat 2 years ago, two and
Yeah,
a half years
it's
ago.
COVID years well. And
But
there
there
was
was also
awful for
times,
COVID, but it was great for the mortgage world. And
there were also times where we were ready to pull our hair out. So stability. I want to see a good, stable market for mortgage people out there, for realtors out there, for everybody out
now, look, a lot of the content we provide on this show is aimed purely at home buyers, homeowners. What message would you have for the realtors out there that maybe stumble across this podcast or show as far as 2024 is concerned?
there. Follow up, stay on top of your clients. I deal with, so the way our business works, obviously an agent refers me. Uh, I do their pre-approval. I also need to do follow up, and it's a struggle for everybody because life gets in the way. But a lot of times, a customer will call me back 2 months after I did the pre-approval, and I'll pull them up in my system, and I always keep a note saying they were referred by X realtor, and I'm like, oh, are you still working with so and so? Like, no, they didn't follow up, they didn't stay in touch with me, so I'm going to, which I hate hearing, like, there's a house I like, I just called the listing agent. It just drives me batty. Um, obviously, if it's a realtor that I have a good relationship with, I try to get them back in touch with that realtor, to say, hey, listen, I don't know what happened, but just follow up with your clients, stay on top of them. If you have a certain day that, like in the mortgage world, we have a certain day that we call all of our pre-approved and looking clients. I don't know if in the realtor world, if you guys have that, but you gotta, we deal with, I think, a larger number of people because we might be dealing with 30 or 40 realtors, and you have your current pipeline is what you're working on. So if it's 8 people that you're currently working on, just stay in touch with them because
I mean, look, if you're only working with 8 people and you can't follow up with those, dude,
that's right.
go back to being an admin assistant, go back to being a dental nurse, whatever it was you were doing before being a realtor, go do that. What
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, and it's if it kind of follows up with Mike, is that don't follow up. Ignore your client. Get them pre-approved. Do me the favor. I will happily guide them through from pre-approval to closing if you can't do your follow-up.
that's right.
I've been pretty successful in New Jersey. I've been getting my bearings behind me here in Florida. I'm pretty confident with my ability right now. All right, guys, look, I'm not kidding. If you're a realtor and you can't do the follow-up, you're gonna miss out on substantial earnings this year. You really are. And if you can't follow up, then look, trust me, I can. I I built my New Jersey business on it. I got 25 years in corporate America where my follow-up was key to my success. So it's the mess around and found out. So if you can't follow up, that's the mess around part. Me taking your clients will be the find out part. I am so shit hot on my follow-up. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right, well, there's the threat to all the realtors in the area. Now I gotta go and hide so I don't get beaten up, especially on a Monday. Um, well, Mike, we've got Christmas coming up next Monday, so we're not doing and then New Year's Day the week after.
Yep.
So we'll miss you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be back in the new year and look forward to talking with you guys.
Thank you very much for all your input this year. I look forward to pushing more next year. We have a whole slew of content coming for you next year, so get ready for that. Guys,
Have,
look, as always, Mike's information is now got to remember this is that way. It's that way. Always on the side of the little ginger dude. Um, his contact information is there, so you'll be able to email him. Just like we did last time, his link for his mortgage application is in the notes in Facebook. It is on the notes in YouTube. There is no excuse for saying you can't reach him. We tag him every week in the video. You can reach out to me and say, hey Gav, I need to get my mortgage sorted out. Give me Mike's details, and I will hand you his details happily. But for this show this year, I think that's us done. Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate,
yep.
enjoy it. Have a happy new year. Don't get shit faced because on the 1st of January, it's a Monday. Some people have to work, not this realtor. And we will see you all in 2024. Thank you.